Clap your hands, all ye people. Shout unto God with the voice of triumph. Let the redeemed of the Lord say so. Ye who've been redeemed out of the hand of the enemy. Come on, put your hands on it, everybody. Clap your hands. Come on. Come on, sing this with us. Lift up your head. And be ye lifted up, ye everlasting doors. Yeah, that's the word of God. And the King of glory shall come in. Yeah, that's what the word says. The King of glory shall come. If you caught it, come on, sing it with us again. Sing it.
Good evening, Mount Pleasant, and to our online audience. I am Minister Alice R. Madry, and I am so excited to be with you guys on today. I have a couple of special guests with me on this evening. I have Mrs. Asia Blanton Smith, who resides out of New Mexico. She is an event coordinator as well as a blogger. And then I also have my mini me, Mrs. Kiana N. Jones. She is a minister as well as a regional training director for the YMCA Mid-Atlantic Regional Service Hub. And I am yours truly, Minister Alice R. Madry. I am a minister, a mentor, the co-founder of the James T. Madry Jr. Foundation, and a member of the Mount Pleasant Baptist Church. Listen, we are so excited to be with you on today. We thank Pastor Charles E. Bond Jr. for the opportunity to come on and be a part of this amazing Women's Month celebration. Ladies, would you like to just say hey for a minute to our audience?
Hey. Yeah. Good evening, everybody. We are so excited to be with you guys and can't wait to have this conversation with you, not just to you, but with you. So join in, leave some comments, and let's have a good evening.
Absolutely. Well, good evening, Sister Stephanie and Sister Tawana. So listen, we just want to kind of throw a disclaimer out there this evening. We are not licensed therapists. I'm going to say that again. We are not licensed therapists, but we are women who have walked this journey called life. We have experienced some things in life. We've endured some things. And because of that, after just kind of having a conversation, we had to stop and say, wait, how can we better ourselves? How can we do better as women? Those of us that are daughters of Christ, how can we do better? And so this evening, we're going to talk about 3 topics, okay? But while we're having this discussion, again, chime in, comment, whatever you feel necessary, holler at us, let us know, because we want to be able to answer some questions for you too. Pastor Bond said to me, he said, push the envelope. I'm like, you sure about that? So tonight, whatever questions or comments you may have, whether it's on the topic that we're going to discuss, or whether it's just a question that you've been wanting to ask as a woman and didn't really feel like you had somebody to ask the question to, feel free, because this is your opportunity. So tonight, we're going to talk about...
Or as a man, because we got some men in the room, and there might be a question that the fellas want to ask that they've been wanting to know. We'll be real with you. You may not like the realness, but remember, you asked the question. So
there it is.
It's going to be a good night.
There it is. Yes, it is. So we are excited. So the 3 things that we're going to touch base on this evening is setting boundaries, no means no, and rest and reset. I hope y'all ready for that, because really, for real, setting boundaries, that's huge. We walk through this journey called life, and we really, for real, we don't know how to set boundaries like we should, but we're going to talk about it tonight. So as we get started, throughout the conversation, a scripture or 2 will pop up on the screen. But to get started, I want to just kind of jump in, right? So I'm going to ask Kiana and Asia, either one of y'all can answer, or both. What do you think is the most important way to communicate your boundaries to people? How do we let people know these are my boundaries and don't cross them?
I think you have to be open. You have to be honest with people. First off, you got to know what they are, because you can't communicate something you haven't established for yourself. And so knowing what your boundaries are, and then being able to tell people in a clear, concise manner. Like, if your boundary is that you don't accept phone calls after 9 p.m., then the people that call you after 9, you need to tell them, hey, this is my last time answering your phone call unless it's an emergency after 9 p.m. because I need my proper rest. If your boundaries are that, you don't hang out in the same clubs you used to hang out with, then you got to let your friends know, we can go to coffee, we can go to dinner, but I'm not going to the club with you. And so I think the people who love you will support your boundaries, and the people who, have issues with your boundaries, and you need to reestablish some friendships and some relationships.
That's good. That's good. Asia?
I would like to reiterate the open and honest part of it. as she said, you have to make sure you have those boundaries in place with yourself first to be able to share them with others, and just being direct. No wavering on it, no faltering, no slide backs, being direct with yourself and the person you're establishing those boundaries with, no matter what it is.
All right. So tonight we're going to talk about reasons why we should set boundaries. What are some of the reasons that we should set boundaries? One of them that we're going to talk about tonight is toxic behavior. Now, I wanted to give y'all the interesting version, the definition that a lot of us probably would have understood, but I was voted down. So I'm going to tell you what the Webster Dictionary says. It says extremely harsh, malicious, or harmful. Extremely harsh, malicious, or harmful behavior. Toxicity. Let's talk about that for tonight. So there are 4 different syndromes that we're going to talk about as it pertains to toxic behavior. Which one of y'all want to start tonight?
So before we go there, can we establish what boundaries are? Because we're talking about them. So I want to kind of back up for just a second. A boundary is something that indicates or fixes a limit or an extent. So you can't go past it. Like, this is the line. So when we talk about holding the line or setting a boundary, put a fence in your mind, because it's like, I'm not going past this point. Like, we set boundaries all the time with different situations, but I don't think we really understand, like, it's a line. So when we're talking about toxic behavior, I think I want to start with the leech syndrome. And comment in the comments if you've ever met a person who will leech on to you because you shining. Like, they are all about what you about just because they want literally your shine. They want to be a part of whatever you're doing. They not really rooting for you. They just want the benefits of what you're doing. And so they've attached themselves to you to kind of be drug along in the process. And they're leeches. Like, they're not adding any benefit to your life, but they there to go, yeah, girl, do this, do that. So that
they only want part of that come up.
They want the come up. They want the glow up. I see my cousin in the comments talking about, yes, ma'am. We've been there. Like, and you look back, you be like, I'm tired, because you trying to make it, and you dragging somebody along who just wants to be a part of the situation because you glowing and you shining. So the first toxic syndrome that you got to look out for are leeches. Asia, what's another one?
My other one would be the dumper. Lord knows, I got lots of friends, lots of people in my life. Y'all know the Blantons, y'all know we come from a big family, lots of people. There are dumpers that will put all their problems, all their worries, all their stress, all their everything on you. And I'm only human. I understand they're only human. And sometimes I do not have, Kiana's favorite word, the capacity.
I
don't have the time to hold yours and mine. I can't do it. I got my own business over here. I do not have the capacity to hold all the things that you're carrying on top of what I have. One, you didn't even ask me what I have going on. You didn't even ask where I'm in my mental state, in my life, my physical, and my emotional, and my spiritual, and you just the dumper. They want to put everything on you. They want you to be there for everything, support everything, hear all the drama, hear all the stresses. And sometimes it's just too much. It's too much.
So are these the people that call you and be like, girl, you fell in my spirit, how you doing? And as soon as you say, oh, I'm doing good, boom, there it go.
Or I'm doing
bad. I want to check in on you. How you doing? Okay, let me tell you all my business. Ma'am.
They are the dumpers. And here's what's interesting. I would like to acknowledge that I think we all can be all of them, all of these things, because it happens very quickly. We have been conditioned to be a narcissistic society. And it's all about me, right? It's all about what I'm going through. But we have to be aware that people, especially in the post-COVID, post-pandemic era, people are lacking capacity. I will say one of my good friends, what I appreciate about our relationship is that when she's got a hard topic, she'll ask me, do you have the capacity? Do you have space? She wants to know if I can hold it before she dumps. And I can appreciate that, because if I told her no, she'd be like, all right, well, let me know when you do, because I need to run something past you. But when I tell her yes, she knows that it's a safe space. Like, that whole proceed with caution within our friendships and our relationships really is a thing, because we can't just be out here expecting people to be the therapist that we refuse to pay for. Go get therapy. Stop dumping on all your friends.
That part. And then the friend that's not accepting of your no, I don't have space, but still wants to unload on you, be wary of that friend.
Be wary.
Be wary of
So
that friend.
another one, we'll go with the vampires. What about the people that just suck the life out you?
Every ounce of energy you got.
And you know when you answer the phone that when you get off the phone, you're going to be exhausted. So like when you answer the phone, you go in with the mindset of, what I got to do after this phone call? Because I'm not going to do nothing but take a nap. I know
Or
when you
look at the
call,
phone ring for the last second, and then I might answer it.
or I might not answer it.
Or I might
Because
not.
the only time you call me is when you're in turmoil and you are literally sucking the life out of me.
Mm-hmm.
And that is exhausting. If you're that friend, like, and nobody's told you you're that friend, boo, you that friend, you got to get that together. Because if you're wondering why your friends have stopped answering the phone, it's because you the vampire and you have sucked the life out of your friend groups. I literally just told one of my friends that the other day. I said, listen, you're complaining that people aren't answering your calls, and it's because every time we talk to you, you're literally in the midst of trauma and you need to borrow money. And at some point, we just stop answering. Call me when life is good. I am tired of all of your stuff because it's exhausting. So
how about the murder killer syndrome? You know, it's them people that kill your reputation, your relationships, your peace, your business, your church. Like, you don't really know me, but you always got my name in your mouth. What about those people, the murderer killers?
The frenemies, they close enough to be your friend, in your face, it's all good. And then the minute
they are your biggest
they can say something bad about you, they got a whole word. Sometimes it's always interesting when things get back about me to me. I be like, I did? Like, when did that happen? Where was I? Because you be telling me stuff about myself I didn't even know I had did or said. When I do that?
When did I do that?
And it's because they would love to kill what you have going on. There are people that are attached to you that are literally drilling holes in your boat. And then when you sink, they want to tell everybody, see, I told you she was going to sink. I told you she wasn't going to shine. I told you she wasn't about what she said she was about. But they was the ones literally drilling holes in your boat. They drilled holes in your reputation. They told your man about what you used to do and how you used to be. They done called you everything but a child of God and what your mom and daddy named you.
Well,
and when I tell you, sometimes the people that are the closest to you have they got the largest drills. You got to check your circle. It's toxic sometimes out here.
And sometimes it's not even behind your back either. It's to your face. You can't do that. You're not good enough. What you know about that? Well, what makes you don't even have the talent. You don't have the skills. Sometimes it's
you're not qualified.
Well, why you want to do that? Well, why can't you just stick with so-and-so? You was good at that. They don't want to encourage your development. They don't want to encourage your growth. They want to see you right where you're at so you can stay right in the spot that they have placed you in while they excel.
Ladies, that's a lot.
Of the fun shade. The fun shade be telling people's real truths. Y'all got to be mindful of the fun shade.
Ain't nothing funny if I'm in the shade.
I feel you on that. I only want to be in the shade when I'm down in Florida in the South. I did say Florida. So let's go to Colossians 3:8-9 really quickly. And it says, but now you also rid yourselves of all of them: anger, wrath, malice, slander, and obscene speech from your mouth. Do not lie to one another, since you stripped off the old self with its evil practices. So I think that's a really good scripture for toxic people. He's telling us, he said, look, get rid of all that foolishness, the lying, the stealing, the backbiting, anger, wrath, malice. And what's so interesting, you know, we all grew up in church. We're Christians. The Bible tells us, it says that the thief comes but to kill, steal, and destroy. And when you think about people and their toxic behavior, is that not what we just talked about? They stealing, killing, and trying to destroy everything there is attached to your name. But God says not so. So toxic people will have you hiding and not living to the fullest of your potential. What you think, ladies?
Agreed, 100%.
Exactly. They do, because they help you, especially when it's people close to you, create self-doubt. And so as soon as that doubt has out, it takes a mustard seed faith, right, to move mountains. But mustard seed size doubt can stop it. It'll stop your faith in a heartbeat. And it's amazing how all it takes is a small inkling of, well, if they think I can't do it, then I can't do it. Because most of the time,
close to you,
especially because it's already something that maybe you were already self-conscious about and you were looking for some support. But the minute somebody just puts that little seed in your mind that you can't, now you can't. And so you have to be mindful of who is speaking a word into your life.
That's real. And one of the things that we have to also remember is that when you don't agree with people and their antics, you better be prepared for the pushback. So stay true to your sense of self, your spiritual beliefs, and whatever it is that you're passionate about, because believe me, they coming for you as soon as you say, nah, I'm good on that. They're gonna be like, well, let me just tell you this. I remember when. And we just have to remember, we stay afloat, we stay above.
Or we should.
Absolutely. So let's talk about for our own well-being, why we should set boundaries for our own well-being.
So I had to go on a journey of establishing boundaries in my own personal life. And I see somebody just wrote in the comments, no compromise. Thank you. You said it, so I'm a second it and third it. No compromise. Setting boundaries wasn't something I was taught. Culturally, especially Black woman, you know, I'm married. I watched a married mom and dad, married grandparents, all of these things. I saw them bend over backwards for everybody. And I saw them say yes at the detriment of themselves. And so I did not know, as a 30-year-old woman, how to say no to people. I thought yes, because yes is the expectation, right? Somebody asks you to do something, they're looking for your yes. But it was at the detriment of myself. And for every yes you give up a no. And most times the no is in your best benefit. And so what I learned is that I will no longer say yes to things that are at the detriment of myself. Not to myself, first off. Not to my husband, not to my children. As much as I love A. Renee Madry as my mama, not to her, not to my brother, my grandparents. Because what I have learned is that when I have set boundaries, I have become a better me. And when I am a really great key, I'm a better everything to everybody else. But when I start to slack and I start to compromise on the lines that I've set for me, all of a sudden, now I got an attitude with everybody. It's important and it's essential for us to teach people how to treat us. But people learn how to treat us by how we treat ourselves. And so if you raggedy with yourself, then everybody else is going to be raggedy with you too. If you talk about, well, I'm getting my health together, but you at McDonald's every other day, boo, that's raggedy. It ain't nothing healthy there, not even the salads. You got to get yourself in line with yourself so that other people will know, oh, I can't step to her any kind of way. If you dating and you all out in the world doing the most and you wondering why these raggedy dudes keep coming towards you, it's because you have shown them that you are willing to accept In the words of my cousin, your expectations are past the pit of Hades. They low. And so you have to, it's for your own good to set boundaries. Don't be raggedy with you. Period.
So are you saying that we as women, we as men, we as a people have to stop showing up for everybody first before we take care of number one?
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. How are you going to be the best for everybody else if you can't be the best for yourself? How does everyone else come before number one?
And how many times has that happened, and does that happen? It happens all the time.
All
repeatedly.
The time.
It's ingrained in us to do that, especially as Black women. It's everybody before us. It's our parents, it's our family, our husbands, our children, our friends before ourselves, our jobs. In so many different capacities are we always not even second, sometimes last. And we find ourselves in a place of frustration and emotional unrest because we don't know how we got here. How am I the least taken care of person and I'm this person taking care of me? Nobody else is taking care of me, but everybody else is taken care of.
So do you think that that's learned behavior? Because I just saw someone said people should really get your overflow. So do you think that's a learned behavior, or because we're fearful and we're afraid of disappointing the next person?
All of the above.
Yeah.
It's all of the above.
Check.
I've learned to be a great wife by watching great wives. I also learned how to say yes by watching great women ahead of me. And I didn't learn the no until I learned the no. And then it was like, oh, I like this word. It flows off my tongue really nicely. And now it's my favorite word. But I walked into it with fear of who am I going to disappoint when I say no? But you know who I don't want to disappoint? Myself. Because this is what happens. So you get to a funeral and people be up giving remarks and they be like, I don't know how I'm going to go on without you. You did so much for me. They done viewed you. They done cried over you. And they done figured out how to go on without you because life continues on.
It does.
So I would rather live my life true to me than to give up so much of myself to other people. And most time them people be undeserving, but that's another story for a different day.
So let me ask y'all this. So boundaries don't get set a lot of times because of being comfortable. The standard, relationships, church, our friends, marriage, work. We don't always establish, 9 times out of 10, I would say most people don't establish boundaries when it comes to church. Again, I'll say friends, marriage, as well as work. So wouldn't it be better to establish those boundaries up front so people know this is where I'm coming from? You ain't got to guess. This is what I'm telling you. What do you guys think about that, setting boundaries in the workplace, in the church, amongst your friends and your marriages?
I think obviously it's essential to establish those boundaries from the get-go with any relationship, any interaction. I mean, at a workplace, it's much easier because when you first enter in a place, you can establish who you are, what you're allowed, what you won't. Those kind of interpersonal relationships with family and your friends and, a romantic partner, those are a little bit harder. Family especially, because at a certain point, you're not establishing any boundaries. When you're a kid and you're living in your mom and your daddy household, it's because I said so and it is what they said. And sometimes as a child, even though they are a child, they are autonomous. They have the ability to say what they will and what they won't allow for themselves. And sometimes in that relationship as a kid, you're not allowed to set those boundaries. And so that sets you up for a failure in the future to know how to set boundaries in your other relationships. When you can't tell mom and daddy, no, I'm not comfortable doing that. No, I don't want to go speak to so-and-so. No, I don't want to hug so-and-so. Now, as you get older, you've become accustomed to, well, I don't really want to go do it, but I do it. I guess I'll go hug. And you don't want to. And the fact of the matter is you don't have to. Nobody is requiring you to do so, but you have to be able to establish those boundaries and be allowed to do so that you know how to do them in those other relationships. It starts at home, being able to feel comfortable enough to do that for yourself. If you're not allowed to feel comfortable enough to create the parameters around your life, what are we doing? What we doing?
And it's one of those things, we were talking about it, right? Because we are cousins raised by siblings. And you can tell a parent no. And I have just made the decision that I'm not doing that. I want my daughters to be able to, within the boundaries of our home and within our communication, safely be able to express themselves, what their beliefs are. You may not agree, and you may still have to do it, but I want to hear your point of view. I want to understand where you're coming from. And so continuously opening up those lines of communication with them to understand that, okay, if I tell you to do your laundry and you say no, the expectation is still your laundry getting done. So it needs to be a no, I don't want to right now. Can I do it then? You still get choices, but you also get to understand that home has to be a safe place for our children to be able to understand how to establish boundaries. If they don't understand it now, the ramifications of that later, exactly, are so much bigger. Our children are dealing with more issues now than ever before because they have the world at their fingertips with phones, tablets, school, the education that they should be getting versus the education that they are getting. There's so much stuff coming at them left and right that if your kid doesn't know how to say no and hold a firm no, that could be a matter of life and death. So I would rather, and most of y'all know Chloe and Ava, I would rather Chloe and Ava have a conversation with me and understand that, you know what, this is a no, and I said no to my mom and she didn't spaz out, and I could hold a firm no. And then when I get out in public and somebody's trying to peer pressure me into doing something, I know how to say no. And let's remember, parents, the first word we pretty much teach our children are no. From the time they are babies, when they are doing stuff, we say no, 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 no. So when they say no, no back to us, why are you feeling some kind of way? You talking.
And I love the fact that Sister Tracy just said, say no with an explanation.
Without explanation.
Without explanation. And that's so funny because I just had someone to send me a message and I was reading it to Kiana and I was like, wow. And Kiana's word was, don't explain it, just say no. Well, for me, I kind of went down the street and around the corner. My answer was still no.
Her no it was so
because I'm
still
still learning that no is a complete sentence. And so again, it's kind of what Mom Blanton said. She said it was ingrained in us. It's how we were taught. It's what we know. And it's just what you said. She said this was ingrained in us, watching our mom serve everyone before taking care of ourselves. So I love the ideas of setting boundaries. Okay, you remember that. We have
She
to.
said she loved the idea. She didn't say you get to set them. That's different.
She was gonna do it, but we can do it with her. Just she likes
roll
the
it
idea.
back. So keep in mind.
But no is a complete sentence. And honestly, it's a way for you to say it. You can say no, which is a period. You can say no, which is kind of a question mark. You can say no, that's an exclamation mark. There's a ton of ways for you to say no, but the main point about saying no is that you don't owe anybody an explanation after you said no. Because when people feel like they have to have your time, that's when the problem gets in. Like, I don't owe you my time, my space, my energy, my capacity. I owe you absolutely nothing. And so when I say no, I have meant it. And I'm not offering you an explanation unless I choose to. And most of the times I don't.
So when you give, when you do give it, it's by way of choice. It's a choice.
When you get my yes, you should feel privileged.
That for everybody.
For everybody.
That's how we all should be. Well, just remember, ladies, that and gentlemen, that a lack of boundaries can also cause or invite a lack of respect. And you want to make sure, you know, that people are respecting you. We were taught as kids growing up to be respectful. So make sure that you set the proper boundaries, that you don't have to worry about people being disrespectful to you. And so we kind of talked about the no means no, and we're going to just roll right on into that piece. No means no. So why do you think we don't say no? I know we've kind of talked about it's generational. We weren't really taught, but we are givers and lovers of people. And we want to see people do good. We want to see people succeed. But, you know, you kind of touch base on it a little bit as to, the point of that. Listen, we don't really owe you that. If I extend me or if I give you my services, it's because I chose to. So for every yes, there's a no to something or someone. Can you guys speak on that?
No, no is uncomfortable. No can create conflict. No can create tension. And sometimes people are not mentally equipped to handle what comes after saying no. So it's so much easier to be like, yeah, okay, I'll do it. Yes, sure, of course, because they're not ready for the potential negative that comes after it. But what they're not thinking about is the positive that can come after saying no. There obviously there's a different response to everything, right? If I say yes to this, that means no to that. If I say no to this, it means yes to this. But you can't be afraid of what's going to come because you said no. So what if your friend gets upset? You have things you have to take care of. I was asked to do something earlier this year. I'm not going to say who asked me to do it, but they asked me to do something. And I tried to find every other solution to give them other than me saying yes, because I didn't want to, but also the love and respect that I have for this person, I could not just outright say no to them. But you better believe I was looking for every other answer because
other than yes, right?
Other than yes, because I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. It was not in my spirit to do it. But at the end of the day, if I needed to say no after all that I have encountered thus far, it would have been, it was very likely I was going to have to say no. So
I saw a few comments that use the words people pleaser. I think that's a syndrome in itself. We have been conditioned to please people from the time that we are small. We are, you want to get all A's because that makes your parents happy. You want to do this because who you're supposed to become, sometimes becomes dictated by where you are, the community that you're raised in, and so like Asia spoke about, it's uncomfortable when you have to look at those same people and tell them no. Like, am I going to hurt their feelings? Are they going to feel rejected? My favorite thing right now is to tell people that's not my ministry. That is a very cute way of me saying no, but it's really me trying to sugarcoat it for them because I feel like they can handle it. So if I tell you that's not my ministry, that really means find somebody else to do it. Like Asia said, it's not in my spirit. Because I had to let go of the ability to people please. If I'm being very honest, trying to be everything for everybody and people pleasing had me over 300 pounds and nobody telling me I was fat. And I was like, why didn't nobody tell me I had gained all this weight? I was so busy trying to take care of everybody and people please. And then I was like, I am miserable. And none of these people who love me the most have said to me, hey, I see you gaining all this weight. What's going on with you? Because everybody was still focused on what they were focused on. So here I am, people pleasing, going above and beyond, overextending myself in places and spaces, only to just be left holding the bag of that. I'm not doing that anymore. And I'm not offering an explanation when I say, hey, I'm about to go over here and work out, or, oh, I'm about to eat healthy, or, oh, no, thank you to the food that you offer me because it looks great. I don't feel like it's going to be worth the calories for me. So thank you, but no, thank you. I'm not doing that anymore. It is the key part about it is we have to learn to, I like it. That's above my pay grade. I like that one too. We have to unlearn these behaviors and then not pass them on to the next generation. Absolutely. And unlearning is where it's uncomfortable, but I would rather be uncomfortable than my daughters to find themselves on the same gerbil wheel that I found myself on.
And in the same breath of people pleasing, I know, Key, for you, it was, health related, but for me, I found myself in relationships I shouldn't have been in, dealing with people I shouldn't have been in, going places I shouldn't have been going because I couldn't say no. Because, oh, well, it'll make so-and-so upset. Well, if this will just placate them, let me just do it. Knowing the whole time in my heart, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be around these folks. I don't want to be involved with whoever I'm involved with, but because it's easier to just say yes and to people please and to go along, go with the flow. Now I'm in this place that I know I shouldn't be in. I know I'm not comfortable here.
Exactly.
And now I've compromised myself. I have crossed my own boundaries, and I don't know how to come back from that, because now this is what people are expecting of me. Oh yeah, Asia, she just gonna say yes. Just ask her. You need it, she got it. Just ask her. She not gonna tell you no. And I'm not. I am now. Don't ask me, I will tell you no. But before, I wasn't gonna say no, because I have been, I don't want to say, so to speak, raised or taught, but it's ingrained that people pleasing, that coming to somebody's aid, to being that something to everybody and not being anything to myself.
And that makes when I say that makes a world of difference. Can you put Sheila Locke's comment back up? Can we put that back up? She said, interested in the benefits from you, not the healthy you. So I've heard, relationships, family, but we deal with that in church. We deal with it at work. Mm-hmm. Hey, Sister Alice, will you do such and such? Sure. Hey, Sister Alice, will you do such and such? Sure. Hey, Sister Alice, will you do? Sure. And then while you snug in your bed, sleep, I'm up trying to get it done. Or Kiana up getting it done for me. But one way or another, it's getting done.
Every time it gets done.
Every time it gets done. But people don't stop. And it's just what she said. They're interested in you, not the healthy you. And being up all night long after working 10 to 12 hours a day and not getting the proper amount of rest, it's detriment to us, to ourselves. We are a detriment to ourselves, and we have to do better. This is not a fuss session. This is to help us along this journey called life, to set boundaries, to know that it's okay to say no. Even if you get mad at me for saying no, guess what? I'm gonna sleep real good tonight. Because that's a boundary that we have to establish. Would you guys agree to that?
I definitely agree to that. I want us to all realize that we already operate within boundaries. If you drive a car, there's a speed limit. You're supposed to wear your seatbelt. You're supposed to stop at the stop sign. You already operate your life in boundaries. If you go to work every day, you got a time you're supposed to be there. You show up on time. Maybe you show up a few minutes late and don't nobody say nothing to you. You need to get that together. Bless you. Be on time so you don't lose your job. But we all already operate within boundaries. And if we can operate within boundaries that are being set for us, why can't we set them for ourselves? You cannot be afraid to say, this is who I am, and this is what I am willing and what I am unwilling to accept from myself and from everybody else. So for me, my goal every day is to drink a gallon of water. I choose not to drink anything else until my gallon is done, because that's a boundary that I've set for myself. Am I always successful in that? Not always. I mean, this year I have been. Since January 1st, I have drank a gallon of water every day this year. But in the past, I haven't been. I have been okay with towing the line with my own personal health, because it's convenient for me to go, well, it's a boundary that I set for myself, so I'm just toe the line a little bit. Who gonna tell me not to toe the line with me? But if I toe the line with me, then so does my husband, my children, my employees, my employer, the people all around me. And then all of a sudden, everybody toeing the line with Kiana, and she don't even know who she is anymore.
It's a domino effect.
Lost. And I think
extreme domino effect.
I think all of those are amazing answers. And we have to remember, we can't always stop people from trying to make us feel bad or trying to guilt trip us or gaslight. And the key word in this is trying. But we really, for real, we can't walk down that path, because we'll find ourselves in unhealthy relationships. Keep that up there. She said, you lose yourself while you're trying to be everything to everybody. Learn to say no and mean it.
Okay, so there's another one I want to go behind that one with, Claire Oxley. She said, we have to put on our own oxygen mask on ourselves before we can put one on someone else. That is literally what we hear on every flight, but that's how you got to live your life. Save yourself first, boo. Save yourself first.
That's pretty much what they saying. Because how you gonna help me if you can't help you? We just all dead.
We all done passed out.
Pop culture reference. I will not be the Jack to your Rose. I will be Rose. I will be on the door.
I will be on the door floating through the water. You gonna have to be in the ice. I'm saving myself.
I will not be Jack.
So listen, I want us all to practice something tonight. And if y'all out there, I want y'all to be ready. She said, my name is not Mother Teresa. I love it. So tonight, I want everybody that's on this live to type in a 2-letter word. And that 2-letter word is what, ladies? No.
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 Type in no.
Type it in. Type it in, ladies.
Just type in the word no. Everybody
type
in the
word no. You're really feeling it.
Yeah.
No.
If you feel it in your spirit, type it 3 times. This is a very good practice.
Get an exclamation mark.
No.
I like it.
No.
It's no. And then from this day forward, be prepared to use it. Let it roll off your tongue. If you feeling like you want to like keep them in suspense, you can even look up a little bit and then say no. It works. It works. That's all I got to say is that it works.
No.
I love it. Kim Jones said no, no, no. Billy said no, no, and no. With some exclamation points.
If you want a little jazz on it, absolutely not is my favorite. Absolutely not.
Or some pop culture reference, get somebody else to do it.
And I don't know how y'all feel, but that felt kind of good.
It does. It feels great.
Great.
No. And what we have to do is we have to understand as women and men and women, that it is so important that we take care of self. If you don't take care of you, who else gonna take care of you? You got to be interested first in taking care of you before somebody else is gonna jump on board to help take care of you. So take care of number 1 first.
Your mama said, no way, Jose. And I know I was so at the same time I did because we both start laughing. It's because we can hear her saying it. I can hear her saying it. And that's why.
Jose, Felipe, whoever, no.
No.
So our next and our final, because we want to give some time for any questions that you guys may have, we're going to talk about resting and resetting. Rest and reset. And we have to make it our business to make sure we do this, that we rest and we reset. So why are we so drained? And why are we so ineffective in our lives, in our jobs, in our marriages, in our church? What is it that gets us to this point where we're just exhausted? Key, you want to go?
So let me start by saying there is no victory in exhaustion. Like you don't get the prize. You don't get the prize. There's not a trophy because you're exhausted. Exhaustion is real. Like, and there are people that suffer from it for medical reasons. Like they're always tired. I'm not talking about y'all. I'm not talking about you have some type of syndrome or a disease that makes you tired. I'm talking about the people that you're doing too much. Like Sister Kelly, I love her. She talks about it Sunday. Like, just because you can don't mean you should. Like, stay in your lane. Here's the issue. I'm going to say here's the issue with the church. Why a lot of my generation is running from the church. Because we are currently playing bumper cars in the church. We are cutting people off because we don't know how to stay in our lanes. And then you talk about how you tired because don't nobody else show up for the meetings and I always got to do it. Boo, because you acting crazy and nobody wants to do this with you because you toxic. We going back to the top of what we were talking about, toxic people. And so you want the trophy. And as I like to call it, you want to be the hero and the victim. So you want to save the day, but then you want to complain about all that you doing. And now you exhausted. You can't play. Every story has a hero, a victim, and a villain, but you should not be playing all 3. So if you are exhausted, find a lane, stay in it, and excel in your lane, and then create space for other people. We're so much better as the body of Christ when we allow people to stay in their lanes and excel in their lanes.
Sister Kelly also said on Sunday, she said that we as women are always tired because we do too much.
Way
That
too
goes
much.
back to knowing your role, standing in your lane. We do too much. And as soon as you call, be like, girl, how you doing? Tired. Girl, how was your
Exhausted.
day? Exhausting.
Sleepy.
I'm wore out. So Asia, rest and reset. What does that look like for you?
For me, that is taking time for just myself. I travel a lot for work. So, and my family knows this, but I sometimes have 16 plus hour days back to back to back. I mean, sometimes for 2 weeks nonstop. When I come home, I'm not getting my luggage out the car. I'm not cooking dinner. I'm not doing nothing. I'm going to take this shower. I'm going to get in bed and I'm going to relax. Maybe throw on some trash TV because I just want to laugh at something and just have a moment to myself because I've been everything for everybody for the last 2 weeks, 80% of the day. So for me, rest and reset is clearing my mind, doing nothing, not thinking about work, not thinking about, sorry, boo, but my husband, not thinking about you. I'm just thinking about me and how I can get myself back on track because I have done too much. And of course, it's a part of the job, but I need to get Asia back together because I can't go back to work in this state. I can't excel in my relationships in this state. I can't be the best me in this state. I have to hit the reset button. You know how sometimes you got to turn your phone off, turn it back on? That's me. When I come home from a trip, I'm turning myself off and I'm turning it back on. And that's what's going to happen in order for me to work properly. Because otherwise I can't.
So that, and you know what? We all have to get to that point. I think that we've been taught to push through, be strong. We battling life, kids, spouses, significant others. We battling family issues, church, work, and yet we're told, girl, just keep pushing. You got
I'm
this.
so tired of the word strong.
Listen, I don't want to be a strong. I want to have a soft life. I want to pat around in my slippers and my robe. I don't want to have to always push, push, push. Be the strong person. Be the tough person. Tough it out. The three of us know the family runs on mental toughness. We run on pushing through, having that toughness to do what you need to do everything you need to do for everybody before you even get to yourself. And then you get to yourself and you're like, I can't even fix myself a sandwich. I'm so tired.
Listen,
I have nothing left to give.
Let me just order this DoorDash real quick and boom.
Let me order this pizza.
Look, let me order this medium large pizza by myself with this 2-liter Dr. Pepper so I can reset.
So listen, ladies. So if people are feeling tired, and this goes for everybody that's on here, men or women, if you feel tired, if you feel overwhelmed, get yourself a therapist. We are pro therapists. Get yourself a therapist. And Kiana said yesterday, she said, and ask your therapist who their therapist is.
They have to have a therapist. They're dealing with way too many issues to not have a therapist.
If your therapist doesn't have a therapist, you might need to get a new therapist.
You need a new therapist. I just want to go back to the word strong real quick because, okay, there's also no participation trophies for strength. At the end of the day, I am strong because I am. And I don't have to prove it to you by having a hard life. Like, she's so strong. She's a strong friend. I can be. I also can choose not to be, but I have surrounded myself with other women who are like-minded and have like strength, if not more. I don't believe in being the smartest or the strongest person in the group because then there's nowhere to learn and grow from. And so I have surrounded myself with women who are strong enough that when I can't be strong, I already know where I can go. My good sis LaWanda is in here tonight. I want to highlight her because she got a text from me early this morning. And I was like, I'm drowning. She was like, what does that mean? Okay, great. And then I had that conversation. And then after I was done, I wasn't drowning anymore. I did not have to bear the weight of it all by myself because I know that I'm strong. Don't do that. Because what we are doing is we're setting ourselves up for failure when we just are out here trying to be strong. I agree with my aunt, take your PTO. I will never forget my first job out of college. I was having some medical issues and I sat with a neurologist who told me, If you were to die tomorrow, they may send your mom a potted plant, but they will definitely replace you. Your job will be replaced before your mom and dad can bury you. And when he told me that, I felt some kind of way at first, but then I've realized over the year, he's right. So don't put yourself in spaces and places, even within your employment, where you have overexerted yourself so much because you feel like you're the only one that can do the job. No, you're not. Trust me. You die tomorrow, even if you own your own company. If you have a company with employees, then people going to want to keep working. They're going to find a way. You should actually have a succession plan that if something happened to you, your company can keep going. So understand that I hate to say everybody's replaceable, but we are. And so take your PTO, take your sick days. I last year took a sick day for a mental health day. It was absolutely great. I had just needed space and place to just go lay down and take a nap without phone calls and emails and all of that. And then when you take your PTO, don't answer your company emails. They can wait. It's okay. If the company's burning down, they shouldn't be calling you anyway. They should be calling the fire department.
Ma'am.
I'm just saying. Just talk about what I'm talking about. I can't save nobody. I'm tired of saving folks. Like, I took the cape off and then I threw it. I burned it. And then it's no more. I am no longer saving anybody outside of myself at this point.
Well, we're going to wrap our piece up because we want people to be able to ask questions and be able to get the answers. But I want to share just in the last piece of this that it is important to rest. Get yourself a self-care plan and be unapologetic for taking care of you. Absolutely. Stop apologizing. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to because stop. Yeah. Take care of number one. Kiana said it the other day. She said, it don't have to be extravagant. It don't even have to be expensive. You can go to the dollar store, get a dollar store candle and get you a good hot bubble bath. Taking care of yourself, learning to adjust your schedule to include you. Everybody else on your schedule. Little Bobby got basketball. Little Bobo got soccer. Little Ellie got swim. Everybody got something on the calendar but you. Start making sure that you take time for yourself. Give yourself the grace to make changes that you need to make.
What that comment said,
rest is not a suggestion, it's a commandment. So thank you for saying that, because so I want to highlight this before a question is asked. I don't know, Auntie Tracy, where she got those names. It caught me off guard too. Understand that God spent 6 days creating everything, saw that it was good, and on the 7th day he rested. So if God can rest, why can't you? If God can go rest, why can't you? Like, if he did all of this and put all of this stuff together, he done made a man, then took a rib out, made a woman, said, oh, I did a really good job. This is so nice. I'm about to go lay down.
If God can do self-care, why can't we do self-care?
Hello.
He was the original self-care. Like,
he started it.
Day 7, their completion. Day 7. He said, I'm done with all that. Night.
I'm going to take me a little bubble bath, chill out, view that all I have done, and have me in my bed.
Was good, and I'm about to go rest. And this is what I want you to know. If you tell me you don't have time for self-care, I challenge you. All of our phones can show us how much screen time we have. Every week, my phone updates me on if I have more or less screen time than the week before. And so if you were spending hours scrolling Facebook, unless that is part of your self-care plan, they know that you have time to self-care, because you can put your phone down and read a book.
One of the things writing your journal. One of the things that I like, Kiana, that I've heard you say is, when I'm a great me to me, then I could be a good me for everybody else. But it's going back to me.
Yeah, I'm not trying to hold the standard to be great for everybody, because that's exhausting. And so you guys, somebody put it earlier, the overflow. So I give myself the most of me. And so y'all get the good of me, but the great of me I deserve for me. I hold her close because I'm getting to know her and I really like her. Like, she's super dope, and everybody doesn't deserve the fullness of my dopeness. And so I give some overflow of it, but I don't give all of my greatness to everybody else, because once again, then I'll find myself exhausted. And now I'm spinning my wheels because I'm trying to be here for everybody, and everybody don't deserve your best. I'm sorry. We've been taught to give our best everywhere, and that's just not the truth.
Sometimes y'all deserve my work.
Sometimes you do deserve my worth. And sometimes, you know, Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high. And sometimes we don't. Sometimes we go lower. And
I might go low.
We'll be nosy.
The
Listen,
are nosy.
we have talked about setting boundaries. No means no. Rest and reset. And for real, y'all, we have to start implementing those things, because as far as our health, we don't take care of us the way we should. And when we let everybody else's problems become our problems, we end up with diabetes, heart problems, high blood pressure, and Lord knows some mental illness issues, because we done took on everybody else's stuff instead of taking care of number one. So put your oxygen mask on first, and then help the person next to you if need be. Any questions from the group, from the audience? Any questions? Thank you.
This has been great.
Grace too. We'll say that.
This has been great. Yeah. This is a great opportunity to just remind everybody, love on yourself. You are worth every bit of love that you extend to everybody else. Love yourself first. It's Women's Month. And keep doing your thing, ladies. We are moving mountains day by day.
And I'm excited. When I say I'm excited, I'm so excited that in this time, if I'm not okay, my family can't be okay. That's so very true. I'm excited that in this time and in this season and on this journey that we walk, I stop again to say thank you to Pastor Bond as we are celebrating Women's Month, that every Wednesday he has said, let's do a group therapy. And let's keep it real. We all could use a little therapy, right? And so there's nothing like some good group therapy. So we thank each of you for coming on. Again, she said, when's the next one? Stay tuned. It may be coming sooner than you know. But I am beyond grateful. Again, I'm Minister Alice R. Madry. As you see in the corner, A. Renee.
I'm Kiana Jones.
I'm Asia Blanton Smith.
And so we thank you guys for being a part of tonight's discussion. They can see the comments before I can see them, so they eyebrows raised or they start.
I just appreciate. Annette Young said, "I sure have enjoyed you ladies this evening. You have turned on a lot of light bulbs for me to start to take care of starting tomorrow." So she's gonna start her self-care journey, and you're never at a point that you can't. So
that's right.
Please, Auntie Tracy, you was gonna use your PTO regardless. Really quick.
I love it. She said she's going to use her PTO tomorrow. Well, thank you, Sister Bradford, Sister Locke. It is so important. Again, ladies, it's like the young lady said, it's not a suggestion. It's now a commandment. We command you to set boundaries. We command you to say no when you need to say no. And we command you to rest. That's right. It's not a suggestion. It's a commandment. So rest. And then reset, because when you get the proper amount of rest, I don't know about y'all, I'm a whole different person when I've had at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep, when I'm not answering the phone or text messages all night long. I wake up feeling refreshed and like a whole brand new person. So get your rest. Take your time to do what you need to do to make sure that you are good. You have to do that. And don't feel bad if you tell somebody no. It's okay. Because if you tell them yes, then guess what? You're saying no to yourself most of the time.
There was a challenge issued for us to start using a no journal. My book will be full real quick, but we can do it, Auntie. I'm down. Book is full.
So ladies, and no way is Burlington giving us nothing for me saying this, but Burlington have amazing journals. I don't know about y'all. I love the journals at Burlington. Get y'all a journal and start making sure y'all write down things to do to take care of yourself. What does your self-care plan look like?
And stick to it.
If you need help reach out. If you need
Stick-
help, please
Stick
reach
to that
out.
self-care plan. Don't waver on yourself. Don't fall on yourself. Set those boundaries and hold yourself accountable to your own boundaries so that you can hold other people accountable to the boundaries you've set for them.
And I'm glad you said that because I'm getting ready to hold Kiana accountable. She is in the process of writing a self-care book, and that book is going to be done before the end of this year. Nope, that was no boundaries, but that book was so helpful to me and people that has it, it's not even the completed version, but I did it for an entire month. I lost weight. My blood pressure was down. I ate healthy. I exercised. So when I say reach out to her, she's on Facebook. Asia is an amazing blogger. She'll show you healthy meals that she prepared, which is one of the reasons that I wanted to pull these two in with me tonight, because we pretty much have the same goals and we're excited. Grandma Sadie was excited to see you. Hey, Grandma.
Hey, Grandma Sadie.
So, ladies, again, if there's any questions, this is your time, because in a minute, they're going to give us the offering and they're going to give us the announcements. Any questions before we move to that?
I just want you to know you said that, and Sydney's on here, and so she's going to be asking me about it. So thanks, Mom. That's
You're
great.
welcome. All righty. So it looks like we have no further questions. And so I believe at this time, it's our time for our offering. Am I correct? Wonderful people who's working this baby from the background. Okay, it's time for the offering. Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you for watching our Wednesday night Bible study. I know that you have been truly blessed by the word on tonight. Please consider sowing into this ministry, for we know and believe that this is truly good soil. Now, there are 4 ways that you can give. You can do text to give by texting 816-293-4483, or via Cash App, $ Mount Pleasant, BC, or via our website, which is safe and secure, MountPleasantKC.com. Now, we know that there may be some of you who still choose to mail in your gifts. Please mail those gifts to 2200 Olive Street, Kansas City, Missouri, 64127. Thank you for partnering with us for the uplift of God's kingdom. We speak blessings to you and everything connected to you. In Jesus' name, amen. See you next week, same time, same place.
Alrighty, and it looks like we have a couple of announcements that I'm going to pop up on the screen as well. So Pastor Ken and Sister Christy is going to get those for us. So join us. Women's Month celebration service. Remember, Grant Me Wisdom is coming this Sunday, March 26th. Ladies, wear your black and white and your colorful accessories. Our assessment is $150 for the women, $100 for the men. Come and be just blown away on Sunday, 9:45 a.m. at the Mount Pleasant Baptist Church. Again, Grant Me Wisdom this Sunday, 9:45 a.m. Our guest speaker is going to be Minister Tina Rambo Faulkner. I've heard this sister speak before, and I am absolutely excited that she's going to be at the Mount on Sunday. So don't you dare miss it. We'll see you on Sunday.